My name is Mikaila Cruz. I'm a yoga teacher and brand consultant here in New York City. I was born and raised here, actually, in Manhattan. And in that time, I've decided to take and expand my yoga practice into teaching. So for the last 5 years, I've been teaching in California, in Florida, in Texas, and now here back in New York for the past 2 years. And I'm really excited to be back here. There is definitely a sense of change happening all over the world right now with this COVID. But it is also important to know that meditation is the one thing that can keep us focused. And to know that gives us the opportunity to make every day the best it could possibly be. There's always a benefit to both the yoga teacher and the student when there's a collaboration and they know that they're safe. My one most important idea when I go into a class is to make sure that they're safe and that they know that their breath is the most important thing about the class. It's not their movement, it's not the pose. The pose is actually the least important because the breath will lead you into the pose and will lead you into mindfulness. So if they leave that class knowing that they feel safe and they feel relaxed, those are exactly the points that I wanted to make during the class and afterwards. And I hope that after the class they can take those ideas into their own practice, hopefully. What I see with the yoga practice from a long-term perspective is the way that we could actually see our own entire life, more with meditation, more with being mindful of how we treat others. At this time, it's so important to be able to be mindful of how people feel and how people communicate. So for the long term, I think yoga and meditation are both such an integral part of how we can live our lives mindfully. I have clients who are marathon runners, CrossFit, ballerinas, and I started yoga as a runner. So I was introduced to yoga as a complete beginner myself. And what I did was I went online and I tried to find what yoga really was. And I found Sri Dharmamitra. He was coming into advanced poses that I had no idea how to do. And what that did is actually had me go into poses that didn't hurt, but they made me understand that that's not yoga as a complete practice. And so what I say to people as the beginning of their practice is, can you sit? Because if you can sit, you're practicing yoga. That is the foundation of yoga. If you have rightful speech, if you have a right mind, if you have right action, those are the beginning parts of yoga. If you can achieve sitting for a length of time, you are practicing yoga. So I'll never teach what I don't know. When I hear something like that happen, I let them know, take the time to be with your breath. Don't do a pose. The only pose I want you to do is just sitting, and just be with the fact that any stress that you have in your mind right now comes from earlier in the day. It's not from coming into your life right now. And make sure that you're focusing on that specific moment. Life-changing experience, moving from finishing school to coming back to New York, not knowing where the next day will take me and what experience might lead me. I think that was the most positive part, because change is scary, but change needs to happen in order for us to grow. And whether you perceive that as bad or good, it's still change. It doesn't matter. You know, a teacher once told me that you can't step into the water in a river twice, because it's always changing, it's always evolving. And if you can evolve with change, then that is the yogic path. Because you're always flowing, you're never looking behind, you're just keeping on going.